Old Republic. I just wanted to record my thoughts on this game, as I've had it for about a week and I've been playing it, but I find myself very, very conflicted on how I feel about this game. Now, I'm not about to tell you that that's a bad game by any real stretch of the word. It's pretty good as far as MMOs go. If you like Star Wars, you'll like it, or if you're looking to try your first MMO, this one should probably be on the short list for games that you want to try. But, I have real trouble enjoying this game. And it's not because the game is bad, it's just because I find it to be one of the most frustrating, frankly depressing games to come out that I've got in memory, that I can think of. Now this game cost, reportedly, between $125 and $200 million to make. That's the figure Wikipedia gives me. Other estimates vary, but they're all in that field. And that's well within the realm of most expensive game ever made. Now, the problem I have with the game is that it's coming out now and costing so much. It is still easily the most derivative and the most generic MMO that I have personally played and that I've personally seen come out. And this is incredibly unfortunate. It looks to me as though the developers of the game didn't spend any time thinking critically about what they were doing. They did no measure of critical thinking when they were constructing this game, when they were taking systems from other MMOs and seeing what could be put in, how these games are constructed. They seem to simply copy the basic function while not considering whether it could be improved, whether it was any good in the first place, or whether it was right for their game. Now, if this game had come out in 2006 or so, I wouldn't have this problem at all. That's about the right time. The problem with Star Wars The Old Republic is that it's not a game that's ahead of its time. It's not a game of its time. It's a game that is so late to the party, it looks like a real embarrassment for BioWare in light of games that have come both before and in light of some of the games that are coming out now that have very forward-thinking designs behind them. Now, I like MMOs, I like them a lot. But I accept that MMOs, because of their long lifespans, evolve much slower than other game genres. And Star Wars The Old Republic does more to stagnate the entire genre than any other game that I can think of. It is so derivative and so the same that I find it frankly unbelievable for that amount of money at this point in time. I suffer from what I call MMO fatigue. Basically, I've got Star Wars, I've had it for about a week, and I'm already getting pretty tired of it. And that's not because I've played the game too much. No, I haven't played it too much at all. I've played it enough. But it's more to do that I feel like I'm just playing the same game, or more aptly, I'm playing the same game again. I'm starting the same game over from scratch. It doesn't feel any different. It hasn't tried to move the genre forward at all. It hasn't tried to do anything very much new. And those things about it, those few ideas that are really keen, there's a couple of good ideas in there that I think are quite original and quite good. There's not too many, but they're there. And each of those is absolutely stifled, crushed, and marginalised by this slavish devotion and reproduction to reproducing what has come before, giving its players an experience, in essence, that they've already had. All of its abilities, well, many of its abilities, I should say, many of its classes are completely derivative. Some of those abilities are extremely egregious. They're just the same as what you've done before in multiple other games, but again, its talent trees, I'll call them for simplicity, are dinosaurs. They are so outmoded that it is shocking to see them put in the game like this, with very little added to them, or very little style that is their own. If you take away Star Wars from it, if you look at the game design just as a framework, it is so it's like it came out of a build your own MMO kit. That's the problem. For $125 million, they couldn't design their own advancement systems, they couldn't design their own abilities, they had to have derivative classes for $125 million. I'm being generous here by assuming the smaller number is the most accurate. For that much money, they couldn't make a new game for you to play. for you. You're the people that they're letting down with this. They took $125 million plus, and they couldn't make a new game. That is absolutely shocking, and it's upsetting to me. Now, people will say that it does different things, it's doing different things. Certainly its marketing and its big poster, its big billboard feature is its focus on story and the fact that it's fully voiced. And people talk as if it's the first MMO to ever focus on story, or that it's the first that's ever been fully voiced. Well, man, the focus on story has already been done, and done, in my opinion, much better in 2007 by Lord of the Rings Online. The reason I think it was done much better is because it's integrated better into the MMO style in the experience, especially for its time, rather than being really single-player RPG components bolted onto an MMO, which is as it seems here. And it certainly isn't the first MMO to ever be fully voiced. EverQuest 2 was fully voiced in 2004. It's not fully voiced now, which might give you a clue as to why I think fully voicing an MMO is a very bad idea, but that's a whole other video. So in general, I think Star Wars The Old Republic is a stagnant pool. It's fun to swim in, but it's full of very old parasites that have very old diseases, many of which have been cured already. By the gods, I'm sorry for all the traffic noise in this video, everybody. You couldn't hear a word I said after that point, so I'll just repeat it again here. My great fear for the Old Republic is that, should it become very successful, then it might send a toxic message to the developers of other MMOs, and even worse, to the players. To the developers, it might finally confirm that yes, it is actually okay to just repeat and reproduce the same systems, the same problems, and the same player experiences in your game. You should just take for granted that these are what MMOs are made of. Put them in your game, put an expensive license on it, and release. And to the players, unfortunately, it's going to send the message that yes, this sort of thing is the best that you can expect from MMOs. These systems and these problems are simply what they're made up of. You should accept it, because this is the best that MMOs can ever become. This is all they can ever be. For $125 million plus, perhaps $200 million, probably the most expensive video game ever made in the second decade of the 21st century, I think you have the right to expect a little better. At least you can expect a new game. I think you deserve it, don't you?